My boss got upset at me for not making a meeting before work hours. I am a salaried WFH employee with the expectation of working from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Every Monday I have a team meeting at 9:30 a.m. and I wake up every day a little before 9 a.m. so I haven't had an issue with these 9:30 meetings in the past. Today my boss's boss, who sets up these team meetings, sent an email out at 7 a.m. that she rescheduled the team meeting for 8:30 a.m. in hopes that it works for everyone. I wake up at 8:50 to find that I missed the meeting and my boss is a little upset that I've missed it. I find it to be unfair that they switch up a meeting to a time before my start time and do so before the workday started. I have a check-in with my boss tomorrow and expressing that I feel morning meetings are rescheduled outside of work hours, that they give minimum 1,224 hours of anticipation. I am new to corporate, so if you have any thoughts on this, would love to hear from you. That is not your fault. It is his poor management in his case. Tell him there should be an SLA of at least 12 hours for a meeting reschedule, and also to send the reschedule during business hours the day before. Also, tell him you have a life outside of 95. I did not see the last-minute time change, since I start at 9, and was not at work yet when you sent it. I hope it works for everyone. Immediately gets upset when it doesn't work for everyone. They did the rug pull and changed the schedule last minute, not your fault. Even within work hours, it's unreasonable to expect people to respond to a meeting change within a few hours. If I'm out to lunch and a meeting gets moved while I'm putting a burrito in my ass, there is only so much room to expect me to adapt to a same-day change. Unless he sent it to your personal email or texted you, he can't expect you to see it before you're scheduled to be at work. It's unrealistic to expect you to be on call 24/7 to check work email unless that is specified in your job description. I would ask him what time you are expected to be at work by and stick to whatever he says. If he wants to change you to be in at 8 instead of 9, roll with it. But unless he changes your schedule around, he can't expect you to see an email like that. I have a feeling you're not the only one who missed that last-minute memo that happened outside work hours, unless you're in a different time zone than your boss. If so, maybe you can shuffle it around to accommodate his schedule. I am lucky with my remote job. My boss CNCA and I'm in Boston, so I get to sleep in. Hope it works out for you, and like others said, don't say you didn't wake up until 10 minutes before you were scheduled to work. That won't sound good to corporate leaders who are used to waking up at 6 a.m. and putting on a suit every day to commute an hour. The old mentalities die hard. Sorry, I don't open work email till 9 a.m. Also, if you are WFH, you might have coworkers in different time zones, so a last-minute change is absurd. If your work hours are 9 a.m. 5 p.m., you have a right to not read emails from 5:01 p.m. 8:59 a.m. If an email came in during that time, you shouldn't be expected to have seen it. I don't think this is exactly the answer you're looking for, but if you haven't already said you were sleeping, I would avoid telling them that. I would said I have a morning workout routine, or something else that would make it so you aren't by your computer, walking the dog, bringing kids to daycare, etc. I have a gut feeling saying you sleep till 9 when she is working at 7 isn't gonna help your case. I think it is needed for meeting reschedule requests to be more than 2.5 hours in advance, especially when it's that early and it's changing a regular weekly schedule. But IDK if there is a real protocol on this. If she's a decent boss, hopefully this will be a reasonable and understandable request, and she will give more heads up in the future. I will also say that some places will throw the salaried employee thing back in your face and say you don't have scheduled hours, and that you are required to work as much time as needed to get the work done. Good luck, op. Hope it blows over quickly and isn't a big stressor for you. My company would crack down hard on this kind of behavior. It is absolutely unacceptable. Scheduling meetings outside of work hours is very much frowned upon, as burnout is a real issue these days. I say you are not at fault, as the professional notice is at least 24 to 48 hours before the event, and sometimes longer if the weekend is upon you. The expectation that work-related emails should only be seen during work hours. In fact, viewing emails outside of work hours could be considered a security risk, as you may be using tools or equipment that is not company sanctioned. Also, just want to mention that if you were commuting to the office, you still would have missed it. Your morning routine would be set to wake up, do your things, and get to the office by 9. So when you wake up at your normal time to a meeting that got shifted to an hour earlier, you are going to miss it even if you work in an office, because you would have had to get up an hour earlier to get to the office an hour earlier. It's ridiculous of leadership to expect otherwise. You could also do 8h30 to 16h30 the days your boss want that meeting, as long as he tell you many days before. Not on you. Sounds like toxic leadership. 24-hour warning before a meeting is pretty standard for corporate, unless someone is woefully incompetent. Since you start at 9 a.m., they can't expect you to have read the email until then. I don't see how they can be angry about it. I'd be very unimpressed if anyone tried to get upset if I missed a meeting under such circumstances. Sorry, boss. I don't read work or even personal emails while I'm asleep. Find a new job. I quit when a dev supervisor decided that 5 a.m. Mountain Time meetings would punish his software devs enough to meet impossible deadlines. I asked him if the folks in other time zones needed to attend, and he said yeah. The entire West Coast team. 4 a.m. MTG time. And I gave 2 weeks. My boss's boss asked if I would be professional enough to do the meetings, and I said no. She tried to fire me then, and my boss physically restrained her. Gods, it felt great to walk out of there. Do it. Oh, your boss is being ridiculous. They know they are. Treat this as preposterous as it is. I would be more than happy to accommodate schedule changes, but I need to be informed of that 24 hours in advance, or at a minimum during actual work hours. What if you were receiving dialysis treatments prior to work that morning? Fuck it. Tell them you are. Don't. But point stands. You didn't miss anything. They scheduled a meeting outside of work hours and didn't tell you. By boss's logic, he could email you at 10 p.m. and schedule a 1 a.m. meeting. Just stupid as hell. Op. Make sure you nip this in the bud, or else you're just going to go through life constantly stressed that you missed some top secret meeting that you weren't told about. And to reiterate, your boss is being ridiculous and he knows it. Look for another job and leave when you find it. Your boss either is too clueless and socially inept to understand that you don't do that with a morning meeting, or they are power tripping to make their underlings squirm. Either way, it's bad news for you, and you are better off looking for a new situation with better pay and a better manager.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.